Spot on, Bill. And I got nothing else to say. I've gotten on you to one degree in one of my videos, but in this particular video so far, I got nothing but agreement with you. We have gotten to the point where we want to make everything good because we don't want to feel bad. Well, the good news is that if you don't want to feel bad, then don't do what makes you feel bad. Hi, this is Julien, licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, and world record powerlifter, here to use mindset, encouragement, accountability, and nutrition to help you be the best you. Today, we are going to discuss a new rule that Bill Maher was talking about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I want to give you my take on it, so I'm just going to let this video play for a moment, and I'll be right back.
Everybody should be allowed to let themselves go a couple of times a year. Like now, the dog days of summer, school's out, rules out, it's hot, vacation time. No one should have to diet on vacation. And the holidays, that's the other, okay, I'll let myself go time of year. And who can blame us? It's the end of the year, structured around feast days. No one should feel bad about opening up the pants after Thanksgiving dinner and doing that thing where you undo the top button and try to hold it together with just the belt. That's all fine, but not all year round. And that's what's kind of happened to America, letting ourselves go now.
He's right. I personally, during the holidays, I tend to gain roughly about 10 pounds. And then the thing is that after that time is done, I take the time to do the work to lose that weight. Because I know that weight isn't healthy for me. I know that if I exceed a certain amount of weight, especially with body fat, that my chances of becoming a diabetic is actually exponentially higher because of my genetic background. And as a result, I cannot afford to get complacent about my health. So the problem is that nowadays people want to do what they want to do, how they want to do it, and it's just that simple. There's no guidelines, there's no rails, there's no rules, there's no regulations. It's just all or nothing. It's what I want, it's how I feel, and it's what I want to do, so everything else be damned. All right? So the truth is, he's 100% right, and I have no arguments with what he just said. Let yourself go every now and then, but not all the time. There's so many things that causes us to have such issues. First of all, we drink our calories, we eat high density caloric foods, and then on top of that, we have the nerve to wash it down with alcohol on top of that. And that's the worst of it. And then when other things start to happen, then we blame society for our lack of discipline. So the truth is I got nothing else to say about it because this is just pretty much true.
They actually sell a business suit now with drawstring pants. I saw this, I swear, I saw this in the mall and I said to the salesman, this is pathetic. It shows how much we've given up. And he said, no, people love it.
So far, no lies detected. Have we gotten to the point now where we cannot hold ourselves to a standard? Is there no place for us to turn around and look ourselves in the mirror and tell ourselves we are really messing up with ourselves right now? We used to like this, now we look like this, or we looked like this. It's time to change. It has to be something that's going to wake us up to decide to change to the point where now you have just literally said, screw it, I'm just not even going to worry about a belt. I'm just going to tie my pants on. Now, that's okay for jogging pants or for shorts or for some sort of athletic gear, but for your business suit is supposed to be a reflection of who you are when you are at the workplace, when you are supposed to be at the highest point of yourself, to the point now where you got a drawstring pants. Fellas, you already know that as guys, we would get clowned for this. So why are we even playing in this role right now? This is not acceptable. There's no standard. And I'm not saying, again, not everybody meets the same standard, but there should be a standard for everyone. And there are 27 different standards. 27. And you guys can meet those standards. It's just that you are not willing to do the work. You're not willing to put in the time, you're not willing to put in the effort. And because you don't want to put in the time or the effort, you resort to nonsensical ideas such as drawstring pants.
Of course they love it. You can have a mongoose for lunch and then give that big presentation. There's a disturbing trend going on in America these days, rewriting science to fit ideology or just to fit what you want reality to be. We've gone from fat acceptance to fat celebration. That's new. That is new. To view letting yourself go as a point of pride? We used to at least try and be fit and healthy, and society praised those who succeeded. Now the term body positivity is used to mean I'm perfect the way I am because I'm me.
We've fallen off. It's just that simple. I've warned y'all, I literally came up with the terminology false positive body imagery for a reason, because I started to see this phenomenon happening months ago, years ago actually. Now, I am still the body shaming guy. I got a video coming up for that later. But at the same time, it's not shaming somebody for holding them accountable for their lack of actions, or for their inactions, or their series of actions. Now, you know, like I said, false positive body imagery is the simple fact of, you know, I'm beautiful the way I am, and I'm this, that, the other. Yes, you could be beautiful the way you are, but you're not healthy. Period, full stop. You're not healthy. The fact of the matter is that you're going to end up in a position where you're going to accept, you're going to resign yourself to being in this body, and this body is going to kill you sooner than you plan to. It's going to kill you sooner than you want it to. Suppose you develop a lifestyle where you finally have a family and you have loved ones, and then now your children start having children, and you're not going to be around to even see them reach age of adulthood. You won't make it to see 18, right? And this nonsense about I'm perfect the way I am, no, you're not. None of us are. But at the same time, we're trying. Those of us who are trying, I applaud you. Anybody that's trying, I applaud you. But the fact is that we all have to realize that it is time for us to make these changes for the betterment of our society. Not for us, it's not for the guy across the street, it's not for the girl at the gym, it's for you. So that way when you reach a certain level of time in your life, you are going to be able to see the fruits of your labor. Wouldn't you love to see the fruits of your labor as opposed to dying of a heart attack simply because you couldn't put the pizza down? Can you imagine? I don't remember anybody praising drug addicts for, you know, doing coke, for doing crack. I don't remember us turning around and going, way to go, you do your drugs. I don't remember us doing that. And guess what? Food is a drug, believe it or not. It is a substance that is used to enhance the body for either longevity or for pleasure. A drug.
It's Orwellian, how often positivity is used to describe what's not healthy. Of course you can get away with anything bad for you when you're young, but let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a fat 90-year-old?
That's a damn good question, Bill. Have you ever seen a fat 90-year-old? I promise you, you haven't. My grandmother is 97 years old, and she is a naturally larger woman to the stature of the average woman. She's much larger, but my grandmother was never fat. Just larger, never fat. I did have an obese grandma, and unfortunately she passed away due to some complications with her struggles with diabetes and cancer. And the thing is that really put me on the path that I'm on right now, because the way I'm gonna tie it in is My grandmother suffered from diabetes because she was obese. And then she turned around and believed the lie that sugar was the problem with why she was suffering from diabetes. So then the government and the FDA and everybody else decided to start pushing the agenda of NutraSweet on her. And she believed that if she just had an alternative sweetener that did not have sugar in it, that she'll be fine to do it. And then later on, my grandmother transitioned to stop drinking that stuff and transitioned into drinking specifically seltzer water. And unfortunately, because my grandmother used to drink that NutraSweet soda like it was going out of style, she suffered from colon cancer, broke her hip, and suffered from colon cancer, and then decided to move on by stopping her dialysis. And to this day, it hurts, but I understand why she made that decision. 75 years old and cannot possibly have the strength to fight chemotherapy and radiation and surgery and all this other stuff. I don't think she had the strength to endure that. And it's like I said, I don't know if you're reading me right now, but it still hurts. So you guys aren't seeing the consequences of your actions in the future. You're thinking about the right now. You're so fixated on doing what you want to do, how you want to do it, when you want to do it. You're not fixated on the future. You're not putting away your acorns for a rainy day, where you might have something held back to where you can afford to have that extra slice of cake on this holiday, or where you can't afford to have this extra extra scoop of ice cream because it's your birthday, or you can have the ribs because it's 4th of July. But the problem is that we're so fixated on what we want to do right now, how we want to do it. Guess what? There's always room. And again, spot on, Bill. And I got nothing else to say. I've gotten on you to one degree in one of my videos, but in this particular video so far, I got nothing but agreement with you. We have gotten to the point where we want to make everything good because we don't want to feel bad. Well, the good news is that if you don't want to feel bad, then don't do what makes you feel bad. Get your behind up and go to the gym. Put the eclair down. Put the taco down. Put the pizza down. Put the ice cream and the candy bars down. And get your behind in the gym and put in some actual work. Yeah, I know you're tired, but you know what? You ain't got an excuse. You wanna know why? Because I got a business and a job. I get up and I'm out of my house every day at 5:45 every morning to be at work by 6:30. And I'm there all day, and then I don't leave the gym, plus working out, plus training children, and I don't leave and to get home until roughly about 8 o'clock at night. I'm putting in 14, 15 hours, and I still find time to work out for me because I want to see where this life will take me. I may not make it because a disease might afflict me, but the truth of the matter is that I might live to be 100. I might live to be 150. With technology the way it is, you never know. But you will never know because you are putting yourself at a high level of risk just for the sake of your satisfaction because your mental health is poor.
Healthy at any weight is an unchallenged lie that people tell themselves so they can go on eating whatever they want, which is fine. I've done many self-destructive things too, but no one pretended there was positivity in smoking. Fat activist Ted Kyle, founder of Conscious Health, says the media and public needs to stop catastrophizing obesity. Okay, A, they're not catastrophizing it, and B, they should be.
Positivity, health at any size is the biggest lie ever told. You could be large and be healthy, but the biggest lie ever told is, oh, you could be this big and still be healthy. Wrong, you're wrong. Any study you have seen in the last 40 years tells you if your body fat percentage is beyond 30%, male or female, you are not healthy. You are at prime risk for diseases of all kinds. Now, the other part is that irritated me about that particular section of this was we need to stop catastrophizing obesity. Obesity is doing that for you. We don't have to do anything. The sad part is that there's a faction of people out there that'll just let you die. Let you do you and die. Less things for us to worry about and less resources for you to use up. That's their mindset. My mindset is get your behind up and get to work, because it's not about your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. F your feelings. The truth of the matter is that your feelings don't matter in this situation. And I know a lot of y'all are probably gonna come for me after this video is done, but you know what? I'm all for it. Your feelings don't matter to me. What matters to me is that you're around for your family. What matters to me is that you can actually enjoy the later stages of your life. Yeah, it's all cute and fun to be chubby and fat during your teens and your 20s and your early 30s, but when that weight starts grinding your knees into powder, when you start having back problems, when you start having sleep apnea so bad that you can't even breathe at night, when you gotta be shaken awake because you can't breathe, when you gotta spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on medication and on surgeries to undo the damage you've already done, to relieve the stress that you've already put on your body, then you'll be wishing that you had listened to me now instead of fighting me and arguing with me about, minding my business about who you are as a person, because it is literally my business. I do this for a living. You don't know how many people I've helped out of obesity. You don't know how many people I've turned around and let them know that the fact is that they might not have been as big. I've told people they weren't as big as they thought. So before you turn around and decide to come for me, or before you decide to turn around and get angry about what I'm telling you, I've turned people away and told them that you're not as big as you think. You still need to exercise, but you're not obese. You have a little bit of work to do, because you don't know the difference between large and obese. All right? People with a certain amount of height and a certain amount of muscle mass determines whether or not you are large or whether or not you're fat. And if you have a body fat percentage over 30%, male or female, I'm sorry to tell you, bad news, you're obese. End of story. There's no scientific proof of otherwise. And as a matter of fact, somebody once turned around and told me that I wasn't a doctor. But yeah, you're right, I'm not a doctor. But I've studied the human body for decades now. And not only have I studied the human body for decades, but I've worked hand in hand with orthopedic surgeons. I've worked hand in hand with general practitioners. And you wanna know what they tell me? I tell my client to lose some weight, and then guess what? They keep coming back for cortisol shots. I keep telling my clients to lose, my patients to lose weight, and they keep coming back for knee injections to lubricate their knees because they're becoming arthritic. I tell my patients to lose weight, and they keep coming to me for prescriptions to control their blood sugar instead of getting out of the house, doing some exercises throughout the day so that way their blood sugar can be managed on its own. This is their words, not mine. So instead of worrying about what we're catastrophizing, worry about obesity catastrophizing you. I'm telling you now, you're going to suffer in ways that you do not want to if you continue on that path. And I'm trying to give you the wake-up call. I'm trying to shake the cobwebs loose so that way you guys can realize that this is not a game. This is not a joke. You are in a state of psychosis and you need to have an awakening. Yes, comedians are sometimes cracking jokes in ways that is not cool. That's fine. We could deal with that. We could deal with that and tell people that it's not nice. More on that too. However, in the process, we have to turn around and accept the fact that this is where we are and that we need to make changes in our lives, because it's more important for us to be around to see them than to turn around and work ourselves into the grave and never ever see them ever happen at all.
Poor diet is the leading cause of mortality in the United States. New York Times. Of course, we're talking about heart disease and cancer and diabetes, but also, as COVID has taught us, obesity is horrible for the immune system, which is why those numbers were off the charts during the pandemic. That's a catastrophe. It's literally a national security issue now. Military recruitment is down by the most since the end of the draft because mainly 17 to 24-year-olds are too fat to fight. At some point, acceptance becomes enabling.
In the past, I've spoken about COVID-19. I'm not going to do it here on YouTube because obviously there's a problem between me and YouTube with that, because I use CDC statistics to talk about COVID-19, but apparently YouTube doesn't want me to do that, so they can kick rocks. The other thing is that everything he said is true. National security risk. You can't defend yourself. The majority of us can't defend ourselves because we're too obese. A high majority of us are obese right now. For what reason? Because we're too lazy to get up off our behinds and get the work done. We need to turn around and have this come to Jesus moment and realize that this is, in fact, a national security issue. Can you imagine the Marines can't do anything about it, can't do anything to defend us because they can't breathe when running up a hill with 25 pounds of equipment on their back? They can't run with another 14 pounds of hard steel and plastic to defend themselves with. They can't run because there's 5 pounds of body armor on top of their head. And then on top of that, there's another 30 pounds of ammunition all over their body. Let alone that their boots probably weigh another 2 pounds. Can you imagine that our military cannot get enough people in because they're not in shape? I'm letting you know now, I see it coming. If we don't make the shift now, if we don't turn around and make the decision that we're going to turn around and be better, just better people, you don't have to be the best, but you got to be better. One of the things that I tell my kids when I'm training them, especially at school, I tell them, I'm not looking for LeBron James. I'm not looking for Serena Williams. I'm not looking for Tiger Woods. I'm not looking for Michael Jordan. I'm not looking for Steph Curry. I'm not looking for Brock Lesnar. I'm not looking for Anderson Silva. I'm just asking you to give me your best effort each and every time. And that's what I'm gonna tell you. That's all I'm asking you to do, is give me your best effort each and every single time you get up and you step out of the house. Not at your job, not just at your job, but in the gym or in your fitness center, wherever it is that you do your thing. Give it your all, because that's what is required.
You can make believe you're fighting some great social justice battle for a besieged minority, but what you're really doing is enabling addicts, which I thought we decided was bad. It's not just the drawstring business suits. Companies like Nike, Sports Illustrated, Victoria's Secret, companies that are specifically about fitness, nevertheless promote people who are plainly not into fitness. People like Adele face shame campaigns for losing weight.
The level of gaslighting that's happening now in this world is beyond understanding right now. You expect me to pretend that you're okay as you are because I'm not supposed to judge you. Yeah, you're right. I'm not supposed to judge you. I'm not supposed to shame you. I'm not supposed to make fun of you because of the condition you're in. But that doesn't mean I don't get to hold you accountable. That doesn't mean I don't get to tell you that what you're doing is not cool. That doesn't mean that I don't get to tell you that I need you to be where I need you to be in the future. Now, it's no secret, my wife is clinically obese. My wife is beautiful. I married a cute fat girl, and the thing is, my wife will tell you that herself when you get to meet her. I'm not, and this is not me pumping that stuff in her head. First of all, she's older than me, so I'm no influence on her mental psyche. She's a very strong woman, mentally and emotionally. You know, so there's no way in the world that I could turn around and make her feel less than as a result of the things that I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you what she would tell you if she was in front of this camera right now. As a matter of fact, she'll tell you tomorrow when you guys meet her. The truth is, you can't afford to keep doing this. Y'all are gaslighting everybody into making y'all feel a certain way when it's not right. It's not cute and it's not funny. Now, in fairness to Nike, in regards to Bill Maher's video, in fairness to Nike, you gotta fit everybody in, because if everybody's trying to get in shape, not everybody's gonna be in the same shape when they're trying. So if you are an athletic company, you need to absolutely have things in tow for people who are not in athletic shape yet, because they're working their way down. And as a matter of fact, that's good marketing anyway, because they get to buy more stuff as they shrink, right? So in regards to Nike, in all fairness, I'll move Nike off to the side. In terms of Sports Illustrated has demonstrated in the past where there's athletes that come in many sizes. I'm all for that, but what I'm not for is just the mere celebration of obesity in the nature of just celebrating in the world of athletics. No, because the men and women who are larger athletes aren't obese, they're just larger athletes. Now, do they have the propensity to be obese if they no longer were active? Yes. But you know what? They're not. They're still active and they're still doing their thing. So you know what? Let them show their bodies the way that what their hard work has begotten them. I'm all for that. Victoria's Secret, you know, again, there are men out here that are attracted to obese women. I happen to be sort of one of them because I'm attracted to obese women, but at the same time, the consequences of obesity is affecting me directly, so therefore, I'm not a fan of it. If obesity was never an issue with one's health, I could care less. I would be out of business because I'll be a terrible personal trainer, because I'm like, you're fine the way you are, go, bye. It's all good. You ain't gonna die soon. You ain't gonna get cancer. You ain't gonna get diabetes. You're not gonna suffer a stroke. You're not gonna grind your bones to powder to the point where you're debilitated and can't move and function like a normal human being. None of that's gonna happen to you. So why go to the gym? That's what I would tell you. But everything that I just said, inverse it, because that's what it is. No obese person has ever turned around. I have never met an obese person yet that can tell me that it's never caught up to them. I've never happened to meet it. Never. So jumping back to have you ever seen a obese 90-year-old? No, I haven't. So this body positivity, or in my case, false positive body imagery, because it's a lie. You know it's a lie. You don't want to admit it's a lie. You're forcing other people to live in that lie with you. It's not cool. And the thing is I'm not going to live in it. And there's a lot of people out here that are not going to live in it either. They're going to tell you what it is that they got to tell you. Now, obviously, we're not talking about stranger to stranger. I'm talking about people that you know, like, and trust. People that you know, like, and trust are going to has to step up and not celebrate this, because what they're doing is, in fact, enabling you. They are putting you in a position where they're going to bury you. There's a question that I wanted to ask. I'm going to ask that in another video, but I'm going to ask it in a different way. You're going to hear me ask this question again later. Do you love that person so much that you're willing to say nothing, or are you willing to lose them by making them the best version of themselves? If you really love them, you need to tell them something, as opposed to just letting them live in their truth, so to speak. Because it is true, they are obese. And in many cases, they might be beautiful. They might be beautiful. But at the same time, it's not healthy. And when those ailments start creeping up on you, you're gonna wish you had the capacity you had when you had the opportunity to fix the issues that were being laid out to you in the past.
This is madness. There's a reason the first thing your doctor does is make you step on a scale. Well, it used to be. There's a card now that you can give your doctor and it says, please don't weigh me unless it's really medically necessary. It's always necessary. It's like asking your dentist not to look at your teeth.
I forgot to touch on Adele. You guys kill me. Here it is. This woman was obese, wonderful, beautiful singer, pretty looking woman, young woman at that time when she was obese. Now she's a, grown woman. And yes, in all honesty, her weight loss is a revenge tour, but she decided to get herself at least healthier than she's ever been. And she's healthier, she's clearly happier, she's still relatively a larger woman, and you guys start shaming her, but yet, y'all are the same people that don't want to be shamed for being obese, but yet you're willing to shame an obese person for getting their life in order. Amazing how that works. Now, all of a sudden, a doctor can't weigh you unless it's medically necessary? Like Bill Maher said, it's always medically necessary. The reason why they weigh you is to see an indicator of poor health choices. Because if you start gaining weight and it's not muscle. Now you can argue it if it is muscle because most doctors just go by the number, right, on the scale. And I'm not for that either. However, if you can show and demonstrate that your weight gain is a positive weight gain because it's primarily muscle, then I'm all for it. However, if you know full well that the 10 to 15 pounds that you gain is in excess of body fat, you have no room to complain about anything. You turn around and you take your lumps from your doctor and move on with your life. If you're not gonna listen to them, tell them to their face, I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm gonna eat the Kentucky Fried Chicken, I'm gonna eat the Taco Bell, I'm gonna eat the Popeyes chicken, I'm gonna have the Burger King, and I'm gonna have the McDonald's, and I'm gonna have it in excess because even though I only need anywhere between 15 to 2,000 calories a day, I'm gonna eat roughly about 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day because that's how I feel. And most of it I drank, right? So it's medically necessary. We weigh you to see where is your health going. Sometimes it might be cancer. There are people who have had tumors weighing 18 pounds inside of their body. So when they're walking around and they got a belly, and it's not an obese belly, but the thing is it looks like an obese belly and you're gaining all of this weight, and all of a sudden the doctor's like, well, you are gaining a lot of weight, but then you don't look like you're gaining fat, you just look like you're exploding from your midsection. What's that about? Have you been drinking? Have you been doing any other vices that I need to know about? Please be honest with me. No, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that stuff. Well, if that's the case, we need to get you into an MRI quick and in a hurry because this is alarming. You've gained 18 pounds in 3 months. Any changes in your diet? No. Yeah, that's a concern. But if you turn around and you open your mouth and say, yeah, I've changed my diet, yeah, I've decided to start eating roughly about 4,000 calories a day, and this is part of the reason why I gained 18 pounds in 3 months, then he's gonna turn around and he or she's gonna tell you, you need to lose this weight and you need to stop eating poorly and make better choices in your foods because this is what is killing you.
There's a popular t-shirt that says, I don't owe no man a flat stomach. Okay, no one said you did. You do you. But you're not a freedom fighter because you want to keep eating donuts.
No, you don't owe your man a flat stomach, but wouldn't it be nice if he had one to have? Wouldn't it be nice for your kids to have for you to have a flat stomach for your kids? Because that flat stomach is an indicator of relatively good health. Don't believe me? Google it. People with distended stomachs due to malnutrition, hyper malnutrition, not hypo malnutrition, but hyper malnutrition. People with distended stomachs with hyper malnutrition are a higher disposition of having diabetes than people who do not. Do I need to go through the statistics of what diabetes does to people? Nah, I'm not gonna do it. But you don't owe your man a flat stomach in the sense of cosmetic pleasure, but you owe him a flat stomach because if he marries you and wants to be with you for a long time, he wants to be with you for a long time, not for a hot minute. If I wanted to get married and be married for only 10 to 15 years, what's the point? If every 10 to 15 years I have to remarry somebody, and every time I remarry somebody, they're just in as bad health as the previous person that I married, then what is the point? What is the point? And this goes both ways, by the way. This is not about just women. This is about men too. So if there was a shirt that said, I don't owe no woman a flat stomach, well, guess what, sir? You do. Because even though you're supposed to be married in sickness and in health, you do not sign up for the sick part long term. The sickness is supposed to be a season, or it's supposed to be the last season. It is not supposed to be a situation where you have to spend the majority of your life struggling to make it and through everything in order to enjoy yourself. So the nerve of you to think that you have the right to turn around and freedom fight and fight the good fight of turn around and sticking it to the man or sticking it to the woman because you don't want to turn around and conform to society standards. Well, you don't have to conform to society standards. You just got to get your behind in shape. That's all you have to do. It's not hard. It's hard work, but it's not hard. It's a fairly simple system. Eat less, work hard. I'm doing it right now. Not right now on this video, but I'm doing it right now. I keep myself in shape for a reason because I don't want to put any undue stress on my wife than necessary. And plus, it looks nice. So why not? The thing is that we have to turn around and make it to where we're not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid. And if I get demonetized or if YouTube cuts this video, I'm good with it. But you can't say I didn't tell you. You can't say I never put this out there. You can't say that I never tried to warn you about what is coming. Because at the end of the day, it is your life.
USA Today actually wrote the sentence, "Science hasn't yet figured out how to solve obesity." And Ted Kyle concurs, saying, "We don't know how to blunt the rise in obesity because we don't know precisely what the factors are that are causing it."
You're kidding, right? You're kidding. We don't know what causes obesity. We don't know how to deal with the causes of obesity. All right, check this out. In all fairness, let's lay our cards on the table. Hormones, poor diet, lack of exercise, poor sleep, poor lifestyles. What else is there? Let's cover them again. Hormones, poor diet, lack of exercise, poor sleep, poor lifestyle. What else is there? I'll wait. These are the things that causes obesity. Again, obesity, not you being larger than everyone else. There are people that are always going to be larger than other people. That in of itself, if you're making fun of them for being larger than you, you are ignorant and you need to be destroyed. Just that simple. However, if you are truly concerned about someone's health and you are not making fun of them at the expense, you're not making fun of them at their expense to turn around and entertain people for it, then guess what? You're better off helping these people than to turn around and just leave them be. Encourage them to go to the gym. make them work, make them sweat, make them get tired, and they're gonna hate it, and they're not gonna wanna do it. But the truth of the matter is that you can, in fact, just put yourself in a position where you can be there for them. So instead of enabling them, able them to be great, enable them to be better.
People say to me, oh, come on, Bill, people struggle with this. Of course they do. Everything's a struggle. Life's a struggle. But somehow 50 years ago, this country looked entirely different. You don't think it was a struggle for them? You think cake wasn't delicious in 1969? And that's the saddest part. We can do this, I think. But by lying about it and making excuses, psychologically, it's telling ourselves that letting ourselves go is the best we can do. And I gotta believe that as Americans, we can still do better than that.
Full disclosure, it's tough for everybody. Everybody likes junk food. Everybody. There's not a person on the planet that doesn't like junk food. You wanna know why? There's people that abstain from it and never want to touch it, and they say, I don't touch that garbage. You want to know why they call it garbage? Because they're turning around and programming themselves to hate it, when in truth, they genuinely want cake. They want ice cream. They want Cheetos. They want candy bars. They want Taco Bell. They want hamburgers. They want all of that stuff, but you know what? It takes effort not to do it. It takes a level of discipline not to do it. It takes a level of discipline for me not to do it. As a matter of fact, ironically, today was the first day I've had a pizza in over 2 months. I haven't had junk food like that in over 2 months. Everything that I've been eating has been mostly home-bought, or if it wasn't home-bought, it was some variation of a healthy food type that I would typically eat if I happened to be at home. Everybody in the past didn't look like how we look now. Yes, I already understand. It started with some jerk making fun of this little girl when she was this big that turned around and made her hate who she was. And then as a result of her hating who she was, she then decided to take and lash out at the world by continuing to perpetuate what the ridicule was. We'll touch on that later too. The fact is that guess what? At the end of the day, it did hurt. But now that you know, now that you're aware of what you're doing to yourself, it is your responsibility to fix it. And if you want to continue on that path, that's on you, and you're willing to suffer the consequences. Don't expect other people to want to suffer those consequences with you. If you're lucky enough to have somebody that is willing to go through that journey with you of pain and suffering and, doctor visits and all of that stuff, and, having to, push you around in a wheelchair because you can't walk on your own, by all means, lucky you. You are lucky. But do not expect the world to care about your problems, because they don't. Now, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. If you like what you heard, comment below. If you dislike what you heard, feel free to comment also. Have a nice day, and be the best you.